All right, so tonight was kind of supposed to be about Flask and web development, but since all of you probably won't do that till the end of your capstone, I thought web scraping might be a little more important right now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about that. So Bonnie, you have a certain trouble you're having with Selenium, so I thought we could kind of debug that live. And
Sure. Let me share my screen here. It's not on the same tab. 1 second. Can you see my screen now?
Yep.
Cool. So I'm just trying to scrape all the information in this card. So I'm already in there, and so I was able to use the advanced search and set each page to show 50 results. And so in this for loop, I want to scrape titles, companies, locations, reviews, salaries, and I'm trying to get the descriptions, but descriptions need extra step to click this card and get all the text here. So that's where I'm stuck in right now. So I try to run everything before. So this part, it works. But when I add job find element, this, and trying to scrape the description, it gives me error message like this.
Okay.
So I think that's why it's because I clicked, but this part, I can't just say like driver dot, because it's not, driver is not in the loop. So I don't know how I can reference this and still get the text.
So in the error, it looks like it's actually on the first line of the loop, the titles.append.
Oops. Yeah, let me run this.
You might need to get the job card elements again too.
Right.
There, yeah.
Yep. So if I do this and do this, then I'm able to get all the text.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so then in the loop, so what part is it breaking on?
This part.
That there.
So it's because I don't have a driver here.
Yep.
What is a driver? So shall I initiate that?
You just need to use that same driver. So just do driver.find element. Try that. No such element. What's that asterisk for in the XPath? What does that do?
I don't know, I just copy the XPath.
Oh, well, you need a tag there. So the description's in what kind of, is it a div?
Yeah.
Okay, so just replace the asterisk with div.
1 second, let's see. So.
But
yeah, it's
I don't know if the
div,
div
yeah.
has the ID. What's the ID you're looking for?
Here.
Okay, yeah, so div should work. No such element. Oh, then you have a div after it. So take out that. And go ahead and do Control F on your inspector and search that XPath.
Search that.
Yeah. Okay, it should find it. Let's see.
So you don't think that's because of the driver?
Go ahead and add this line just after you make your driver. This is going to be something I showed. I'm worried maybe it's not loading in time. So this is how to basically make all of your find elements have a pause or like a waiting period. So
where should I add it?
Right after you create your driver. So like all the way at the top probably.
Here?
Yep. So whatever you pass in, that's how many seconds it'll keep looking for whatever element before throwing an error. Which can come in handy.
But that will just increase every time I find, increase the time of every time I use find XPath, right?
Not necessarily. If it finds it instantly, it'll just grab it. It'll basically keep trying for 10 seconds.
Okay. So I need to rerun everything.
So do you see a problem there?
What?
The pop-up thing? So
Yeah.
does that always come up?
Sometimes, not all the time.
Okay, so does it come up if you were to search again now, or does it usually come up the first time?
The first time.
Okay, and then you'll probably just want to handle it manually.
Yeah.
But there would be a way to kind of check for it too. Okay, so go ahead and run those two. Okay, so it's probably waiting then.
Oops. It worked.
So that actually opened the job.
Yeah, open the job.
When does that happen? Like if you're on the previous page, then it can't find that because it's not in there. So you go back to the page with all the cards. And if you click on the title, does that, I'm trying to figure out how you open that in a new tab.
Because we want it to be opening a new tab.
Well, so you're clicking on the title and the title makes it open like that. You just want to click somewhere on the card.
It's weird because do you remember it showed up here, the same page?
So click somewhere in the white space on the card. Like just click there.
Oh, okay.
So that's what we want to do. So
Okay.
we want to have it click on the div that is this whole card instead of because the title is a link and it'll open a new page.
Yeah. So here. But
no,
I did click
down
on the
below
div.
where you do job.click.
Here. So you were saying like not find the title.
Well, so technically you're having it click on the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because the part with the title there doesn't actually do anything. And then the job, how did you get those? What are those referenced by? Divs, right?
Yeah. Correct.
Take out the line under hashtag job description that has finding it by the title down below. This one here.
Okay. Want me to delete this line?
Yeah, just take that one out and then run that again.
So just job click.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, click.
Yep, and the thing changed, so now it should be trying to get the description, but it's still running.
It's still running.
So it must be still looking. You can always change the timeout too and make it like 5 seconds if that's too short. Oh, did it go to the next one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Might be working now.
Yeah, goes to the next one.
It just has to wait. Because I'm thinking it takes like half a second for that to actually open. And if it tries immediately after it clicks on it, it might not catch it in time.
So I still need to set that time.
Yeah, so
Maybe
go back
2
up to
seconds.
the top and we'll just, for Jacob and Beth. So I know I've shown you guys how you can use like time, the Python library, to add like pauses to make sure something loads. But Selenium actually has this built-in implicit wait. So you set it on your driver object there, like Bonnie has, and then you just pass in how many seconds you want it to always wait for an element to load. So it'll look for whatever element you call for 10 seconds before erroring out.
Is that different from explicitly waiting?
Yep, so that's the other thing. So I can actually show that. This is what I was already going to talk about, so it actually works out. So let's see. So that's implicit waiting. It just does it for all of them, but this cell here shows explicit waiting. So what you have to do is import this WebDriver wait, and then you also need to import expected conditions from Selenium. And so the way you do it is you call WebDriver wait, you pass in your driver, number of seconds you're gonna search for, and then you do .until, and then you pass in a condition. And this is kind of just the way to do the condition that an element has been located or found. You do your expected conditions dot presence of element located, and then here's where you would put in like the XPath. This is just doing it by the ID, but you could pass in XPath here too. I think if you did like by XPath,
Mm-hmm.
and then the XPath here. So kind of two different options. Generally, you probably just want implicit wait always, just in case it can't find something right away or it takes time to load. And then if you notice there's one particular element or one part of one page that takes a long time, you could do an explicit wait for that one in particular. So definitely if you're looping and you're going through a bunch of pages, quickly do this because sometimes web pages take longer to load than usual and you kind of just want to buffer. And you probably still want to surround things and try catch if you're going to be running something a long time, just so you don't cause it to error and then you lose everything. So always have a try or try except to kind of just continue on if you have any errors. And then this here was an example I was going to show you because it's kind of some weird HTML and XPath stuff you want to do. So basically what I want to do is be on Wikipedia here. I want to search for some companies in the search. So like the first one is Tesla. I want to click on the search thing. It should take me to the page, because if you put Inc. after the company name, it usually takes you to the company name. And then down in this table, what I want to get is the founded. So if we inspect this, so basically entering the search and clicking on it, that's pretty easy and standard. But when I tried to do, where's the founded? The founded, the HTML is a little funny. So let's take a look here. All right, so the text that I want is basically everything within this TD tag. But you'll notice there's nothing in that that's really usable. The style line height, that's probably used by a bunch of other of these in here. This height amount, that's probably not anything. I also can't go to a parent because this TH isn't a parent, it's like a sibling element. I could go up to this TR, but you notice there's no attributes to that. And even up to this T-body, I could get this whole table, but obviously there's a ton of things in here that I don't want. So before I tell you guys, does anybody have an idea of how you could get these two texts from here then?
Can you use the founded and then go to its sibling?
Yep, so that's pretty close. So basically you can find this founded because that's going to be an easy one to find. Then you can grab the parent of that. And then once you have this parent TR, then I can just get a child TD and basically get this. So I locate this, then I get its parent, and then from that parent, I can get the element that I'm looking for. So what that looks like in code then, so I'm finding that, so I'm trying to get this table row, the parent element. So that's this part right here. And then I want one that has a child. This is like the syntax for has a child, TH, that has the text founded. So I'm looking for a TR that has this child basically. And then once I have that TR, then I just get the only TD off of it, which is the founded that I'm looking for. So if we go ahead and run this.
So what if under that parent you have multiple TDs?
Then you would have to find some way to specify which one. So like there'd have to be a difference between them, or you can do some kind of regex on the text. So if you were looking for dates, you could, you know, check if there's a date in it, and if so, then that's the correct one.
I actually have an example of that.
Do you? Can you share it with us?
Yeah. So I was working with something kind of similar. I wanted to pull information from a table, and this is what I ended up going with. And this is the whole long thing. And basically, this gets me to a table that has an unordered list, and I wanted only the first item in the list, which ends up being this link. The other item in the list is just a link to a picture, and I didn't want that. I wanted the actual text. So you can actually use these brackets like you would normally do in a list to get a specific child element.
Yeah, that's a good example.
I saw that in syntax in the page, the footer page. When I want to scroll to the next page. But that's my next question, but keep going back.
So that's how you would reference specific children. And you can see I've done that multiple times here. And then as far as the next page thing, I have an example of that too in here. And this is a thing that I set up to pull a whole bunch of stuff all at once. And this is my next page thing. Mine ended up being a button, and I had to do the text, and the text for that button was see 25 more books, and it was at the bottom of the page. And what I did is I found how many, so this is going to sound crazy, and I should just show this, actually. I should run this. Hold on.
Oh yeah, and I see you have a bunch of time sleep and then like 5 seconds. You'll
Yeah.
definitely want to put in the implicit wait just to
Yeah.
maybe run time, because then it won't have to wait that full period each time.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna have to fix some things already.
So you were saying if implicit, it doesn't have to wait every time, but explicit, it has to wait that much time each time, right?
So no, actually both will just wait until it finds it. So let me, so on here, let's see, so implicit wait, so it'll basically every time I call find element, it'll wait up to 10 seconds. If it finds it instantly, it'll just continue on and grab it. Explicit wait basically lets you customize a specific time for that element and then also a specific condition. So like we should maybe look at these other expected conditions.
So if not those conditions, it won't execute.
Right. So here's expected conditions. So you can check if something's visible, just if it exists on the page, if the element's clickable. So a few different things. I don't know if it explains these too much here. You kind of just have to figure out what it means. But so yeah, explicit basically lets you specify a certain condition for that element too. You can also do custom wait conditions apparently. If on the explicit one, I think if you didn't pass in, maybe you have to pass in something though. Yeah, basically they're the same. Explicit just lets you be really specific and lets you choose a specific condition to be met.
Yeah, my next question is just how to go to the next page, because the website is interactive. If I enlarge it, it becomes a arrow, but if I zoom in, it becomes a next. So it keeps changing.
Can you share your screen again?
Yeah. So this one, earlier today when I was trying, it looks like it's a like span tag with this XPath. But if I search different jobs, like the number of lists will be changing as well. So
So can't you just, so you just want to click next, right?
Yeah,
but this next will disappear.
Are you finding it by individual elements? Can you not call all of the elements? Like find by, or find elements by XPath instead of find element?
I was using XPath. Yeah, I don't know why, because this afternoon when I type, it was an error and now it's become next.
Oh, you meant when you like expanded the page?
Wait, let me.
Or like, minimized it.
Jobs here. Oh, still a next. Never mind. If that's a next, I think that will be easier. Yeah, but it's not always a next.
When did it change? Like, when would it not be?
Let me try something else. So do this. Yeah, what if the XPath changed from the website?
So you mean what if it does switch to an arrow?
Yeah.
Go ahead and inspect on it again. So that,
Oops.
okay, so see how there's the span above it,
Mm-hmm.
class PN,
Mm-hmm.
maybe that, or just the class on it, the NP, like, because that's probably next page.
Yeah. And PN is page number, I guess.
It might be, yeah, probably NP is what you want to go with. And then if it happens, there's just an arrow in there instead, it would still click on it.
So after I look through this one page, like how do I go to the next page?
You probably just want to have it click on next, and then it should go to page 2, right?
Yeah, so I have to set a number after like 50 runs, and then I'll go to next page.
So you should just be able to get all the job cards on the page, loop through them, and then
Yeah.
once you're done, click next to go to the next page and repeat.
Is there anything on the page that tells you how many results you have?
There is, yeah.
That's how I set mine up to go to the next page for me. And depending on how many are displayed on each page, you can set up a script to divide by how many are on each page. That'll tell you how many pages you have. And then if you do that number, because it's probably going to be a decimal dot floor, that'll give you your range. So you can set it up to loop for X and range 0 to how many ever result pages you'll have to do the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah, and one thing I noticed is strange. So, and I'm not lying, it's different from what I saw this afternoon. Yeah, so if I go to like second page, sometimes the first job of that page is the same with the last page. So in this case, I guess it does not have that problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that a job probably got added as you were switching pages.
Mhm.
But
No, it's like when I switching pages, the first position doesn't change because it's like sorted by date or relevance. So I will have
yeah,
a lot of
so-
multiple results.
So I
Yeah.
think if you do relevance, that might change. You probably want to do date.
I did date. So
and even
here,
if you end up with multiples of the same data, once you have all of your data set, you can just drop the duplicates.
that's true, yeah.
Yeah, you can either drop it at the end or just keep a running list of maybe like the title plus the company. And you
Yeah.
can either get all of the jobs, so like there's 509 there. But I saw the other one was like 19,000, so
Mm-hmm.
you could either grab all of them or go up to a certain amount. It kind of just depends. And you'll
Yeah.
want to see how long it takes to do like one page and then
Right.
plan out.
And also when I come to the site, the location is like identified. So it's always like New York at first. And if I want to scrap, let's say like top 30 US markets, I have to do it every single time.
Mhm.
Yeah, that could be a lot. 30 locations and then however many job titles. So you might want to do multiple drivers. That might work on this site. So you basically want, it'll open multiple tabs or multiple windows. And you do that just by making additional driver objects. So you can have driver 1, 2, 3. So you can basically have a couple different units all doing the same thing. Maybe one's doing New York, maybe another's doing another country, or they all have different lists, or city, or they'll have different lists of cities that they do. If that makes sense.
Yeah, so I guess it's a combination of manual and automatic. Because I was thinking, can I put a list of words there? So like if I want to also pull like data analyst, but it seems doesn't work. That's a and relationship, not a or.
I mean, if you're doing just data jobs, you could do the one part that says with these words in the title. And then
Yeah,
just,
I tried that, and the number of results is less than if I just like put this there. Because with all these words, this will search all the text, like including the job description, not just the word in the title.
okay.
And sometimes some
Well, what
job,
if you do like with all of these words, put data there, take out scientist, and then in the with at least one of these words, put like scientist, analyst, engineer, all the
scientist,
possible.
analyst, engineer.
Maybe just try those 3 and see if you get enough results.
Yeah, that's a good idea. But it will include some other stuff.
Like financial analyst, but maybe some of those, well,
Are relevant.
yeah,
No way.
could be.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, like business intelligence engineer, that's similar.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go back to the code part. So we're saying that if I just add like page here, just click that button and go to the next page.
Yeah.
Oh, see here, this is the example. Look at the arrow.
Okay, so inspect on that. Let's see if it's the same span. Okay,
Yeah, it's on the next page.
it's still the span class equals NP.
So I can just click that span.
Yep.
Cool. So I'll do a release here. So
you'll need to do another for loop then.
Another for loop?
On the outside,
top?
Yeah, or a while. So like for however many pages you're gonna do.
Like while here?
Mm-hmm. Or just do for, so do for like for I in range, and then
say 1 to 10.
Yep, and then move the for loop below it inside. And then after that for loop, do click next page.
Um, But it will click the next page at the beginning.
Or you want it at the end, so you want it below that for job and job card. Yep.
So that will be the can just do the and plus equals next page, and then next page, click, right?
Yep. That should work.
Let me try next page and get this. Wait 5 seconds. Okay.
Does it make sense what I said though about having multiple drivers?
Yeah.
So basically you would duplicate all of this, however many times.
Right. It's probably taking a while.
I wonder which part it's on. There we go.
Okay.
It takes a while in the description for some reason.
I let it wait for 5 seconds.
How many is on a page? 50?
50, yeah.
This is gonna take a while.
Sorry, I should set it 10.
Yeah, maybe. And I just mean overall. Like this is gonna, you might
Yeah.
have to leave this overnight to get everything.
I can stop sharing if you guys want to take it over. I can let you know the results.
Doesn't matter. Does anybody have anything they've been having troubles with or want to show us?
Not even there yet.
Andrew, do you feel like sharing your topic for your capstone that you're thinking about?
Yeah, sure. So what I want to do is scrape some stand-up comedy and run a laugh detection on that. And so what I'm going to be scraping is the transcript of it, and then match the laugh detection to the time codes to identify where the jokes are, and then build a model that will predict the jokes. We will predict where you'll get the laugh at least.
Wow.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
It's gonna be fun. I don't know how well it's gonna work is the trouble.
It's
Sounds
gonna
like
be
Hollywood.
challenging, but it'll be worth it.
Hmm.
Yeah, because we found a Python library that actually can analyze an audio file and detect laughter in it.
Wow.
That's really cool.
Oh, one other thing I wanted to ask you, Matt, was, do you know any other place that will generate a transcript that one is pre-built? Because I might have to be sneaky to get some more and like record Netflix or something as an audio file and then run that through.
That's a good question. Don't know. I bet there's some kind of service or program that will analyze an audio and generate the transcript, but I'm worried like it won't do a good job. It'd be nice to find like official transcripts.
Yeah.
Let me do a search here. Okay, so I might have found something that will be helpful.
Oh,
This
cool.
website claims to have.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I was seeing this one. It's certainly got some transcripts. Um,
Does it have the audio too, though?
I think it's just the text.
Okay, so then you'd have to get the audio
Mhm.
for all of them.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they've already got the Jerry Seinfeld Netflix special. So,
Someone said that Genius has transcripts.
yeah, they have some. It looks like this is being constantly updated.
Oh, so Netflix has subtitles. So I found this Reddit thread about downloading subtitles from Netflix. I'm sure there's a way to record the audio too.
I was going to mention they're legally required to provide closed captions for a lot of things. So that might be a way to search for transcripts.
So my code run, but it says that spawn class is not clickable.
Interesting. So go back to the inspect on that next button. Okay, and is there an A tag? Okay, so yeah, there's an A tag at the top. So you'll just want to you'll want to do that example like I did.
This one?
Yeah, so you're going to want the A tag that has a child span NP.
So A dot span class NP.
So it's going to be, let me, yeah, so A / and then brackets, and then dot / span, and then the span thingy, and then just close the brackets, I think. And
So we found the A tag.
Maybe move that to the top above the for loop just so it tries it right away for now. And you'll also want the in cell 74 up above where you get all the job cards. You'll want that inside your outer for loop above your inner for loop.
Here?
Yeah. And then what was the error? It still didn't like that. Oh, it's / A instead of A //.
Let me check this.
Yeah, and this is another good thing, everyone. You can go to your inspector and do Control F and paste in your XPath, and it will basically find it for you. So you can make sure you're getting only one, make sure it's correct, those kinds of things.
So this one identified this A tag, but I don't want to, do I want to click this A tag?
Yeah, because that's
Okay.
an actual link.
Okay, cool.
That should work.
Can you check my code again? So as like for I here and here I equals I + 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me run it again. I changed it to
So
10 page.
you don't need to do the I equals I plus 1 since you're doing for I in range. That would be if you're doing a while loop, but this will increment it itself.
Okay.
So I think that went to the next page, right? Looks like it.
Oops. Why is opening?
I think you might have clicked on the page and that might have messed it up. You have to be
I did
careful
not.
not to interact with it once
I did
it's...
not. I did not click anything.
I would maybe stop it and rerun it.
Which part? Did I click anything? Okay, I have to rerun it again. Okay. So here we are.
Didn't like something.
This was not an issue.
That's weird, it worked before. Where is that in the code?
I think that's a description part.
When did you set up that ID? Was it today?
Yeah,
So have you closed the driver since then?
I did.
When they look, when the IDs and stuff look like this, if you are not in the same session, the ID will change.
Really?
But if you're in the same session, you can use the same one over and over and over again.
ID equals... Yeah, so click on one of the cards once with the inspect. Let's see, so it's div and then... So you maybe want to use class contains click card. Or contains class click card.
Div.
I'm gonna have to sign off for today. I'll see the rest on the video.
All right.
Good luck.
Yeah. Oh, contains needs to be parentheses instead of brackets. Oh, and when you get the list of the job cards up above. Okay, so no, that's the description. You'll want to undo that down there.
All right. Ugh.
Okay, I thought we were looking at the card, but so that's the description. So,
Yeah.
So go back to the page and then inspect one of the descriptions after you click on the card.
So I don't want to click here. So sometimes it gives me a new page, sometimes it does not. Did you see that?
Yeah, does it depend where you click on it or?
I think it depends on the interaction. Like if I go to a full page, it will show here.
Okay. So you just don't want your inspector to be open. All right, so let's look at the...
This is very unstable.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're kind of interacting with it and stuff.
Yeah, so let's look at the job description here. Yeah, so job description text.
Yeah, so you just want to do maybe the ID.
ID, job description text. Okay. Is it a div? Is it div? Okay, let's try again. But at least it goes to the next page.
Yep, that seems to work. And that opened the description. At least it looked like, well, it did open it. So it's not liking that still. Do a control F on that in the inspector. And let me see the code. Well, that found it, right? And you copied it.
Yeah.
Interesting. And you have the implicit wait turned on?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe try adding the explicit wait for that one. So you'll want to import those two things. And then that's the general setup for it. But we maybe want a different expected condition. So I guess maybe just the presence one would be okay.
I still by ID.
So you'll have to do by XPath. Oh, and you also need to import by.
So just put the ID there.
You want the whole XPath. Or just what you already had.
Like this.
Let me see. Something looks off. On your outside quotes, make them a single quote on the XPath. No, so like here, like make those a single quote. Yep, and then go ahead and copy that line and put it down in your for loop.
Oh, okay. So put it here.
At the bottom where you were getting the
Bottom?
description. So description equals that.
Put it here?
Yeah, but you want to set description equal to it instead of search element.
I see what I mean. So basically remove this. Like this?
Yep. So go ahead and try that. We already got an error. Let's see if we're missing something. Maybe I'll scroll over so I can see the whole line. Takes 2 positional arguments, but was given 3. Oh, so the by and then the XPath should be in its own quotes or own parentheses.
Like this?
Yep. Or no, take the second one away on the right. Like this should all be in its own.
Like this?
Where did my thing go? So then one more set here.
Here?
Yeah, try that.
Wait, so this whole thing are in the one,
Yeah, so that's all in its own for some reason.
and this is another set of
Yep.
parentheses. Okay, try again. Oops.
You might be missing one final parenthesis. Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Yep. Okay, next page worked.
Timeout exception. Hmm. That's definitely the right XPath, so that's weird.
Yeah.
Oh, on the by dot, maybe XPath needs to be lowercase.
Here it says,
No, it is. Okay, it is capital. Hmm. Well, it was getting it at one point, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So what changed?
Oh, the ID changed?
Did it? I mean, well, I'm just trying to think what changed in the code. Take out the next page click once, just comment it out and then run it. Hmm.
Timeout. Timeout means like after 10 seconds, it still didn't find this, right?
Yeah.
Is it because this driver is not connected to this page?
No, it should still be on that page. Um,
Or shall we try just search for that X path? Without the time component. Try.
try calling this right after you click on the job card.
Okay.
Should refresh the driver.
Where is the charge? Where do I put this?
Just right after you do the click there on job.
Okay.
Before description. And then you'll still want to have the description, either one.
I want to try this one.
That is so weird. Does anyone else have any ideas? Jacob, you've done a lot of this. Have you seen anything similar?
Sorry, I wasn't watching. What's the error?
So she's on Indeed, and when she clicks on one of these cards, a description pops up on the right.
Uh-huh.
And for some reason, it can't find the description element, even though it exists in the HTML. And we're thinking it's maybe because it's dynamic, because it's not there until you click. So we tried refreshing the driver, but that didn't work either.
I haven't seen that yet. Have you tried like making a list of all the pages and just grabbing it straight from the page instead of the card?
Yeah, that could be an option if we can't get it from the card. You should be able to, and I swear we did the one time.
Yeah, we did before the page.
But we took out the page thing, and that's still...
I was using this So if I type this again, oops, it's not working now.
Or take out the asterisk and put,
Div.
and then take out the div on the right, the slash div, then.
But I was literally using this. So let's try this first. I guess nothing worked now. Okay. So if I comment,
You might
wait,
be
I'm a
able
little lost now.
to driver.refresh and then run those cells below.
What?
Just copy that driver.refresh and then put that down below, and then you might be able to rerun those.
Yeah, but this step is after I click the drop card. So I guess I need to rerun this. Okay. Yeah, now it disappeared.
That is bizarre.
So if I try this.
Do me a favor real quick. Try closing the inspector on your Firefox on the left there.
Yes, give me
And
1 second.
also maximize the window. Okay, and then open your notebook and just have it be like in front of the Firefox. And keep that maximized.
Oh, my Mac doesn't allow me to do that. But
you can't bring your
I can I? I don't think so.
If you do like
okay.
tab,
Okay.
there you go.
American, yeah. So still cannot find.
So if you run it now, does it still?
This is bizarre.
Try calling driver.refresh at the beginning of that. Or refresh. That is so weird.
I was able to get a text. But if I open each individual page, so it really depends on if I'm enlarging my browser or not.
Yeah.
So if this, I click, still does it show? For this, yeah. That's not helpful.
If you right click, so make it full screen. And then if you right click on one of those titles.
Right click.
And then open in a new tab.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe like Jacob said, basically copy the link on each one, open it, and then scrape it from that page.
Copy the link. Yeah, I can get the link. So I need to click on that link.
Well, I think if you click on it and your screen's big, it'll just open the card. So you want to actually grab the href,
Uh-huh.
and then do driver.get and go to that URL.
Got it.
And then you'll just want to go back and basically continue on.
Okay, but for this, well, this like, see, the ID is still job description text
Yeah, but it should work on that page.
on that page. Okay, I'll try that. Thank you, guys. I'll let you know how it goes.
Or what you can do is just get all the links and don't go to them yet. And
Mhm.
then once you've got them all, then go to all the individual pages.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
what I'm
easier.
That's what I was gonna recommend because I have the driver.quit. So that way, once you open it and pull the info, you can close that page using the .quit method.
Mm.
Is that different than .close?
I don't know.
So in my for loop now, I don't need to maybe not scraping it all at once, but just grab the link and then I can use the for loop just like get all the links and the text.
Yep, exactly.
Right.
Okay, cool. Thank you, guys.
Yep. No, that's a tricky one. And you'll run into stuff like that all the time. Websites are weird, basically.
Yeah. And I also have questions on how to make features out of the text, like so many texts.
I mean, you can do kind of like keywords. So like if a keyword exists, you can do kind of word counts. You could also do some kind of neural network like embedding layer and generate embeddings. Kind of just depends. That's from like simplest to most complex. So maybe start simple and see what results you get.
Cool.
That's what I'm looking at doing too, Bonnie.
What are you predicting?
I am trying to scrape a whole bunch of classic literature. That way I can find the open source texts or whatever. And then I'm trying to predict the Lexile, which is the reading level of that text. So that whenever you pass in new text, it'll tell you what reading level it is.
Cool. That's similar in terms of idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to predict the salary, but the training said not all the salary of the jobs are available and they're in a range.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to figure out a way to get all the medium.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say like maybe 5 out of 10 jobs have a salary associated. So my training
Mhm.
set is tricky.
Yeah, for mine, I haven't even looked to see if the Lexiles are available. I know that they are for some of the books, but right now my training set only has 230 books in it, and I haven't even found labels for those yet.
But at least you got all the information, right? You got all the text.
I am currently acquiring the text.
So you're getting all the text from that book.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to need a lot of examples then, or you'll need a way to kind of compress the whole text of the book.
Yeah. Yes. I'm also planning on passing in a different type of information. I'm planning on passing in the teaching standards for national and then for the state of Texas. And in those teaching standards, there are specific keywords. And so I'm planning on using that as an additional filter. That should help with getting the size of those texts down. And those are sorted by grade level, and the Lexiles are also sorted by grade level.
I
So
was thinking.
how do they determine a Lexile score?
Honestly, like, there is so much conflicting information out there. It's like trade secret stuff. And this is everybody has a Lexile level that they were tested at. That's what your AR program was based off of your English testing or whatever. Let me see. I have some information on it. I need to find more. Okay. I don't want to misspeak because I'm not an English teacher. Lexile reader measure. So this is figuring out what kid is at what level. Is usually obtained by having the reader take a reading comprehension test. Numerous tests report Lexile reader measures, including state end-of-the-year assessments. And it places students on the same Lexile level as the texts. And then I know it has to do with word difficulty, like how long the words are, how many meanings are associated with the word, and then sentence structure, like grammar plays a part in it too. So as your sentences get longer, your Lexile level's going up. As they increase in the number of phrases that are in the sentence, your Lexile reading level will go up. And so these are all like different types of parameters that I can include. But as far as like what they specifically look for, I know it's a combination of vocabulary, grammar, style as well. How many metaphors are present, how many, what type of imagery and whatnot.
Okay, so it's kind of a complicated thing.
Yeah, they have like a whole crazy algorithm. I think it was developed in like the 40s or the 50s, and it's definitely protected technology.
Gotcha. Well, that makes it interesting then if you can find a way to kind of crack it.
And that's the problem is I was a high school teacher teaching science, and my students were at risk, and I was told by my administrator, find a way to make your students read. And the science textbooks that are available are garbage, and no high schooler is going to sit down to read a textbook. I'm sorry, they're just not. So what I had to do is go find reading passages. And that can come from popular media, it can come from anywhere. And so the goal of this is to make this tool available to teachers who were in a situation like I was. I had to make my students that were at a second grade reading level understand chemistry and forensic science. And there are articles out there that are on a second grade reading level, and then there are ones out there that are on a sixth grade reading level, but finding that type of labeled data was nearly impossible. I ended up using one resource a lot. It was made for teachers, and it was really helpful, but it didn't have everything in it. And like I said, it's a lot of English teachers would love this. A lot of not English teachers would love this. So we'll see. Because that means too, like you could write a question for a test, and if your test question is above, because whenever you're a teacher, you get all of the information about what student reading levels are, especially if they're language learners. You get that information. You know exactly what reading level your students are at. So if I'm writing test questions and if they have accommodations that say that the language is simplified, I can prove that the language was simplified based on this was the original test question, this was the simplified test question at this reading level.
I see. Yeah, that'd be interesting then if you use it on like single lines or questions.
And so it doesn't have to be the whole text of a book, but I figured that the whole text of a book also gives me a lot of information. I could break it down by chapters and pass in the different chapters.
Yeah, I was gonna say you might want to do that actually. You could even do by paragraph. Because on average, the paragraph should be about the same level, so.
Yeah. And that's something to think about for you too, Bonnie, is to break it down by sentences.
Yeah, I was thinking about graphs and lists, because you know they list out the qualifications
Mhm.
of certain jobs, but it's not always formatted that way.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think maybe doing a keyword search for you will be really powerful, because PhDs are going to get paid more than a master's, than a bachelor's, than high school, right?
So I'd have to make some assumptions.
The only problem is that I've seen job postings that list bachelor's, master's, PhD. And then they say if you have a bachelor's, you need like 8 years of experience, master's 6 years, and PhD.
Yeah.
So in that case, it would list them all, but yeah, it would make it kind of tricky. I don't know. There's a lot to think about there.
And then that could be something passed into is required number of years of experience. And then if you have two different layers that look at those two different things.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I have to revisit the natural language processing part.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, I have to go. Oh, but thank you so much for tonight.
Yep, no problem. And actually, yeah, we should probably just call it a night here, unless anyone has any other questions.
So I am trying to run a thing where I have, okay, so there's a website and they've had new updates. And as they've had new updates to the website, their URLs have changed.
Mm-hmm.
So I have currently two different options for URLs. And if it can't find the one, it's supposed to try the other. And at the end of both the try and the accept statement, I have driver.close. And this is why I asked you that question, Jacob, is if driver.close is different than driver.quit. So I set it up to do originally 10 and it went fine. And it found all 10 of the texts, but I was left with a couple of open pages at the end. And I'm not sure why.
Okay, so the difference is close will close the current browser window that's in focus for the web driver, and then quit will actually basically get rid of the driver completely.
Okay.
So you could call close and then open a new URL, but if you call quit, you'd have to make a new driver object.
So I have new driver objects in each one. So I would probably want to call quit.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Okay, that's my question. And I'm probably going to let this run overnight.
Cool. Yeah, it looks like you've done a lot of work. That's a lot of coding.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been interesting. Once I got to here, I actually realized that all of the stuff I found for this was completely useless. And I was gonna make a comment in the chat or in the Slack channel that it's really important to consider what you acquire first, labels or data, especially when they're not paired. So I went through a bunch of work to acquire a bunch of labels. And then all of the labels that I collected, the books, aren't necessarily open source, meaning the text is copyrighted and I can't find it. So what if I do it backwards? So all of the texts that I'm doing now were written in either the 1800s or the early 1900s, basically everything pre-1920, because the way that copywriting works on books is after 100 years, the publisher's copyright expires and it becomes open source. And so everything written prior to 1920, I can access, and they update it yearly. So that means I should be able to find that book online somewhere. And also, if that book has been around for 100 years and it's a classic, chances are its Lexile level has been measured.
Mm-hmm.
So once I get the text, I'm going to pass all of the titles in, and I have the titles stored here, into the Lexile level determiner that I found. And I already have the code to get the, as you can tell, to get the Lexile level. It's here on that same site. So once I do that, I'm hoping I can get at least 100 books worth of information. And then if I can do that, I'm going to break it out by paragraph. I've also realized that processing the text for this is going to be a madhouse.
Yeah,
Because,
you're gonna have to have a really robust like pre-processing function.
yeah, because they all have different formats. There's not really any consistency. Some of them have chapters, some of them don't. Some of them only the one story, or some of them have multiple stories, and only the one story will have a Lexile level associated with it, not all of them, in the case of like short stories.
Mm-hmm.
And so I am seeing a lot of try except in my future, a lot of while, a lot of if this, then do this.
For all of that, I would suggest searching on GitHub for something about like, literature or classic books or something to see if someone else has done a good pre-processing for books that have different formats. Because yeah, that'll be tricky if some, are broken apart by a chapter because you don't want like chapter 1 to be included. So yeah, I'd look for an example if you can find it.
Right. I already know that I have some code written to process what's in a book because of that one activity we did about predictive text.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I've got some, but it's not robust enough to handle this.
Yep.
All right, that's all I got.
All right, cool. Well, we'll call it a night here then. It seems like everybody's off to a good start. So, all right. Well, I'll see you guys next Monday then. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Matt. Have a good one.
You too. Thanks.
See you, Beth.
Bye.